Hi, my name is Gabriella Kova, and our group team hypothesis would be that the seasonal variations significantly affect each hotel's occupancy rates as well as the revenue per available room. Um, this peaks occurring on weekends as well as during holiday periods, and then that compares to just the weekdays in general. Um, our goal is to produce some recommendations to improve the performance of the hotels based on all the research that we do based on each hotel and what their history is on the revenue as well as the occupancy rates depending on each season as well as the weekends and the weekdays. As our executive overview as a team, we will create recommendations to improve hotel performance based on all the research and the reports that we do and the analysis from past years, um, which depends on each season when travel is typically lower on the weekdays, but weekends it tends to be a little bit busier. Seasonal fluctuates have a considerable impact on hotel occupancy rates as well as on the revenue per available room. The proposed solution and expected outcome is to do a research from the past and study the history and make changes to improve on that. Research available would be the STR reports and data from November to December of 2023 to analyze the revenue per available room and occupancy percentage, comparing them. This will help us identify potential spikes in hotel performance during the weekdays and the weekday. In addition to the executive overview and conclusion, we did research on Lake Buena Vista hotels as well as the Central Florida hotels, which in the end concluded that weekends did have a higher occupancy rate. And then when it came to the revenue per available room, the weekend was also higher based on the STR reports. And then we recommended hotels trying out maybe market group specials, corporate events, and or company retreats, as well as any flexible booking policies and hosting events that could possibly improve for the future.
Hello, I'm Josh Rakowski, and I'll be discussing a little bit about the background and history of our weekend and weekday analysis project, the city of Orlando, and overall some positive or negative factors that would affect occupancy percentages here. First off, I want to start off by saying the city of Orlando was one of the first of the top 20 U.S. hotel markets to recover from the shutdowns of the 2020 pandemic. According to HVS, RevPAR for local hotels had only risen in 2023 from the previous year, with consistent visitor growth only expected to continue its incline. Orlando's become a year-round destination for a lot of visitors. It's not just busy in the summers anymore. Theme parks still draw in more guests every year. Local art and sporting events also attract a fair amount of visitors. That being said, Orlando still to this day continues the trend of high RevPAR and occupancy percentages occurring during the weekdays. Within this project, we also aim to discover if holiday weekends peak even higher than those, something that would positively affect hotel occupancy percentages in Orlando would be the large amount of international travel we receive. In 2023, they accounted for over 6 million out of 74 million total visitors. They bolster the demand during otherwise low demand periods. That's according to Visit Orlando. The predicted number for 2025 visitors would be exceeding over 80 million. Something that would positively affect weekday occupancy would be business events. Those are mainly held at the Orange County Convention Center. According to Visit Orlando as well, weekday occupancy had a record high in June of 2023 as the AAU Volleyball Championships accounted for the highest share with more than 200,000 attendees. Some other contributing businesses such as Premier Orlando and Infocom International also had high attendance. Some of the steps that we took to achieve our goal within this project would, first off, very simple, create and follow through a hypothesis until solution. We wanted to look over the data, see what we wanted to land on for our goal, and follow through on that. Step 2 was to research available STR report data from November through December of 2023 to analyze RevPAR, occupancy percentages, and compare contrast weekday and weekend performance. Step three is to identify possible spikes in hotel performances during holiday weekends, as well as properly document outside factors that would impact overall performance. Step four, we would gather evidence of higher percentages of demand for hotels during holiday weekends as opposed to weekdays, also incorporating how business trips would create a rise in weekday RevPAR. Final step would be to analyze specific areas in Orlando that would generate higher occupancy rates, such as Lake Buena Vista and the central Orlando area. That would be home to Walt Disney World Resort and Universal Orlando Resort. These areas hold their own personal holiday themed events that draw in a lot of locals and visitors alike.
Hello, my name is Raquel Ramirez. I will be presenting on our data analysis, our findings, and recommendations. As Joshua mentioned, Orlando is already a huge market due to the theme parks, international travelers, and the Orange County Convention Center being the largest in the state. We wanted to dive into the data to see whether our hypothesis proved to be correct. The graphs shown below depict a comparison in occupancy between the Lake Buena Vista hotels and Central Florida hotels from 2022 to 2023, while also comparing the differences between weekdays and the weekends. We reviewed data from a non-holiday week as well as data from the major holidays being Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year. There was a significant jump in occupancy in both 2022 and 2023 when looking at the weekend occupancy. Weekend occupancy in Lake Buena Vista and in Central Florida was over 10% in both years, with a notable 15% increase during the weekends in Central Florida in 2023. In these graphs below, the same comparison is shown. However, this time we were measuring the revenue per available room. As with occupancy, there was a significant increase in RevPAR during the weekends than the weekdays. RevPAR in both Lake Buena Vista hotels and Central Florida hotels averaged 25% higher on the weekends than on the weekdays. To recap, our hypothesis was proven to be correct, as shown in the charts. It's notable that in both the Central Florida hotels and Lake Buena Vista hotels, weekend RevPAR and occupancy levels were significantly higher year over year. While there is room for improvement during both weekends and weekdays, we can see that the larger opportunity to capture higher revenues and occupancy lies during the weekdays. Our group recommendations to increase occupancy and RevPAR during the weekday and weekend were as follows. Our first idea was to market group specials such as corporate holiday party events or company retreats during the weekdays. December and January are very popular months for companies to host holiday parties for their staff or to hold corporate retreats. Offering a special group rate or events and catering packages would drive more revenue and occupancy for the hotel. Another idea was to offer flexible booking policies. Travelers tend to be more cautious about booking during the holidays due to tight restrictions and tight cancellation policies, or even due to having a tight budget around the holidays. Flexible booking policies would also attract last-minute travelers and families who may have unpredictable schedules and are likely not to book otherwise. This would also place the hotel in a more competitive standpoint than other hotels in the market. Our last recommendation would be to host and promote themed events. Perhaps hosting internal themed events around the holiday season would drive business to the hotel. For example, holiday festivals or cultural events. The celebration would not only drive business to the hotel, but it would also foster an inclusive atmosphere, which would in turn create a positive guest experience and secure future business for the property.
Hi guys, my name is Amin Ali, and today I'm gonna be identifying the risks of this project. First of all, marketing ineffectiveness, which is low risk. Sometimes seasonal marketing campaigns just don't turn out the way they're anticipated because of some circumstances that happen around the world, such as a weak economy or some sort of global crisis. The solution of that is you should have a backup plan ready, and A backup plan can be such as shifting focus to local guests if needed. Second of all is customer loyalty and pricing, which is moderate risk. The customer get upset when this happens because the use of flexible pricing. As prices spike up to a level that makes them feel the rates are extremely unfair. And the solution to that is you should clearly explain the pricing policies and have offers to the guests that are returning guests, and you should make them feel special. Third of all is dependence on technology, which is a moderate to high risk. Relying heavily on technology for pricing and on forecasting could lead to mistakes, even if unexpected events disrupt the market. With a solution with regular model updates, you can also have people go over and make sure there are no discrepancies and make changes if needed. Next, we have brand perception, which is high risk. Aggressive pricing can indeed affect your brand image or maybe even start pricing wars in active markets, which will clearly reduce profits. The solution to that is you can focus on offering singular experiences that set you apart and don't find yourself having the compete on price. Lastly, operational challenges. New strategies are likely to put pressure on staff and resources during peak season. And the solution is you can train your staff and ensure that you are better equipped with the required resources to accommodate more customers without diminishing your service delivery. Next up, we have recommendation tips. For the experiential enhancements, you can create special experiences that they will not be able to find anywhere else. For example, this can be anything from arranging a cooking class with a chef or getting the people to go on a hike during peak holiday seasons. These experiences will justify a higher room rate without deterring the stay experience. Second of all, upsell and cross-sell effectively. Also, you can use guests' information to provide personalized offers of room upgrades or other services such as spa packages or dining experiences. You can urge more revenue from guests already planning to stay using strategic upselling techniques without having to discount the room rates. Third of all is the seasonal themes and partnerships. You can coordinate mutually beneficial package with local businesses highlighting regional culture or events without significant expense to the hotel, such as seasonal wine tasting or with a local winery.